After the 21st June Grenada blast, then comes the Ethiopia peace deal drama, nothing but a scripted drama signed in Asmara, Eritrea on July 9, 2018. The purpose why Ethiopia signed the peace deal with Eritrea on July 9, 2018 is because this conspiracy group who plans to enslave our future needs Eritrea's sanction to be lifted. That's all. And again, this was the arrangement of the US, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. One has to understand clearly that the Ethio-Eritrean peace deal was neither Abiy Ahmed's nor Isaias Afwerki's single intention or involvement. They never involved both of them. When Donald Yamamoto visited Eritrea in April 26, 2018, of which he came to Ethiopia directly and has been there for 2 days in April 27, which ordered for Sheikh Mohammed Alamuddin gold mining investment to be closed. And then for Abiy Ahmed to go to the Middle East trip to bring the policy that Ethiopia is led by on May 20. And then he went to Egypt, Cairo, in June 5, 2018, to talk Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, because he's part of the conspiracy. He has a stake for the Ethiopian Great Renaissance Dam to be held with a conversation before they take action. And then the conspiracy author, the architect of everything, the mastermind and the deceiver of all, whose vision is operated by using Donald Trump, Kushner, by appointing Abiy Ahmed, by removing the former Ethiopian Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn, by kicking out the TPLF, by controlling the media, the military, the money, and by creating havoc in order to say, oh, this is TPLF, so that people will deter the power TPLF has through psychological war through the media, by spreading words of hatred, enmity, division. And then for the true leader of Ethiopia at the background, this guy, the visionary, Mohammed bin Zayed, to be in Ethiopia in June 16 to sign the document, to pick all the plots of the land in Ethiopia. People doesn't know what's going on, but in the investment he invested the $3 billion, which in Somalia has failed. And there's also the Chinese initiative Road Belt initiative that changed the geopolitics around that area, the region. So he wants to take advantage of all that to be rich and prosper and become powerful. All is using Donald Trump. Now, for the Eritrea and Ethiopia, it's all started when Donald Yamamoto, after he met. So as soon as Yamamoto came to Ethiopia, that April 27, Isaias Afwerki, with the invitation of the Saudi Arabia king, went to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, in around April 29, 2018. So when I say the Ethio-Eritrea peace deal was arranged of the US, Saudi Arabia, and UAE, it has nothing to do with those two country leaders, Isaias and Abiy Ahmed. No involvement, not single. It's scripted as per the blueprint. How Kushner, Donald Trump, they said will be executed as per the advisory of that mission and vision holder, Mohammed bin Zayed. So it's already pre-arranged. It's a menu that They will just execute. They have the steps. When will be executed this? When will be accomplished this? He's a military. He has a strategy. He has put everything in store in place. They have the money. They have the military, the power. At the expense of Ethiopians' people, lack of freedom. So this is how it is. One has to understand clearly. There's nothing to do with the Ethiopian people and Ethiopian Eritrean people relationship. It has nothing to do that Abiy Ahmed initiate or Isaias Afwerki has agreed. It's those people, the bigger Lego conspiracy, tell them to do what they need to do. Just sign the document. That's all arranged by the con artists to make it seem like real. So this is how it is. They have zero contribution, neither Isaias nor Abiy Ahmed, for the peace deal. They are just a puppet and a figure to be there and sign because they are present in the two different countries. They were puppets and con artists in total. The scripted signed document, the scripted, ready-made, because they need the arm embargo to be lifted and the airspace resume operations between Ethiopia and Eritrea, so that Isaias can freely and easily travel to Ethiopia, because he is the East African recruited mercenary with his military capacity and dictatorship to do the operation of colonialism, to take over Ethiopia. That is all the conspiracy behind the Ethio-Eritrean peace deal saga to be signed. He is hired by MBZ and MBS like Abiy Ahmed. And indeed, our country's territory is being controlled one by one with the criminal Isaias Afwerki, MBZ and MBS and Abiy Ahmed. And those people are behind. The MBS and MBZ is behind the killings of our citizens to take over with the operation to achieve their mission, to take over our country and control by using their dirty money to speak for their dirty works to be accomplished. That's the only reason Eritrean sanction needed to be zero. No, or doesn't exist anymore. From Donald Trump to Kushner, from MBZ to MBS, from Donald Yamamoto to Mike Pompeo, from Abiy Ahmed to Isaias Afwerki, from Demek Emekonnen to Temesgen. They are all involved directly and indirectly, and they are all accountable for the crimes that is done in Ethiopia for the last 3 years. The international court needs to see the situation seriously and immediately, for those criminals not to kill our people anymore, and for all the crimes they let it happen. We need justice. Crossing another land sovereignty by being illegal to cross another land sovereignty, by paying for mercenaries and supplying weapons to massacre our people, is a war crime, and we don't accept for the global community to ignore such human rights abuse. We need justice for the crimes done in Ethiopia. Whoever it is, it should be under the law. If there is no fair judgment, it has its consequences, because encouraging lawlessness have its own repercussion. All human life value is equal, and we need justice. Since the UN Director Antonio Guterres lifted Eritrea's sanction illegally on July 10, 2018, the next day after the peace deal signed between Eritrea and Ethiopian leaders in Asmara, our great Ethiopian Renaissance engineer, the UN lifted the sanction on July 10th, 2018, right after the previous day the peace deal has been signed by Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki. On July 26, the Ethiopian great Renaissance dam engineer Semenyo Asamino assassinated in his own car on July 26, 2018, and found dead in the Massacres Square, where the rally has been operated to point a finger, to blame shift for that grenade on TPLF, is where Engineer Asamino Semenyo has been killed and found dead. In order to stop the GERD project and to serve to those who needs the GERD project disrupted in favor of Egypt. And it's in favor of Egypt. Kushner, Trump, MBZ, MBS, Engineer Semenyo is killed. Our military commander-in-chief assassinated in his house on June 20, 2019, together with his colleague in his house. While the Amhara region government high officials and Brigadier General Asamino, who has been resisting Abiy, has been murdered also during that time. Those people are a men of integrity. Those people who doesn't go along with the mission of Abiy. If they stand with what they believe is the truth, they will be eliminated, either fired or be assassinated. Same day with the operation Abiy Ahmed and Isaias operated in, later killed Brigadier General Asamino. So, the lifted up of the sanction, the Eritrea, to begin with, Eritrean sanction in the first place was because the president of Eritrea, Isaias Afwerki, was aiding the Al-Shabaab group in Somalia. It has nothing to do with Ethiopia. So the UN also is corrupted to expose our people and make our people vulnerable to be attacked by those people. Isaias and Abiy Ahmed is purchased dictators sponsored by the Arabs to destroy the Orthodox Church and to destroy TPLF. They are recruited to be mercenaries. They are destroying our church, Christianity, our history, our culture, values, identity, in order to take over our country and to exploit our resources and make us their slaves and establish Islam. See, this is a mission they can only accomplish. That's why the next day after US election result announced, the mercenaries Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki in the order of MBZ, they opened a war on the north to attack. They engaged, they were preparing. They were preparing in advance. They were circling the Tigrayan people. Eritrea military is already in Sudan. Since Mike Pompeo arrived in Khartoum, Sudan, and Abiy Ahmed has been in Khartoum, Sudan, August 25th, 2018. People in Asosa and Benshangul Amhara region are massacred with a drone. Abiy Ahmed banned airspace around that area so that nobody can see what they are doing. A crime is happening in Ethiopia every day. So, waiting for the result of Donald Trump's 2020 election. If he won, they will go to take over Tigray in a different way, by cracking down little by little the culture and the people. But if not, to go open a war. So as they claim that the TPLF started a day before what they have been planned. They are angry for that because their mission cannot go as per their plan. To subdue and control the only territory that hasn't been captured so far is the Tigrayan territory, and the only peaceful place, the only place that this doesn't exist. Assassination hasn't happened. A massacre hasn't operated, except one casualties in the university student has been died with people's conflict because of this ethnical division, media intensity. That's the only place that has been left. Otherwise, they have captured and controlled everything. What Donald Trump recently, a week before the election, he pronouncedly said that make the world people to have a red flag when he said that Egypt will destroy the dam that was so toxic and volatile. That word has cost them, because the strategies they already have been to come with the intention Egypt and Sudan is opening the war, and they were about to go to the Tigray to control. That was their intention. But because of Donald Trump, that speech, they have to change the strategy. So they were waiting for the election. If the election is not in their favor, if Donald Trump loses, they were circling Tigray to go and take control. Unfortunately, didn't that happen? So, since this is a mission they can only accomplish, they were planning. So the next day after the US election result and engaging now in the war with the Tigray, to attack the Tigrayans and control the land, the only territory that has left so far, that they haven't captured. Indeed, Abiy Ahmed Ali, the Nobel Peace Prize awarded committee and the world who applause praise him, and indeed the Eritrean dictator and terrorist to whom the United Nations given him a free ticket. Both mercenaries paid by MPZ, yes, covered their image by international institutions and giving them the right to smuggle weapons, to travel to other countries' territory with the wrong motive. Indeed, mercenaries like Abiy and Isaias, who has the backing up of Donald Trump for their human rights abuse, they are committing to be silenced. The human rights abuse is silenced. The Amnesty International also gives a biased information because they are working where the money is in favor of others. They might give a little bit here and there, even though they know what's going on. The larger scale massacre and who is responsible. That information is not released. Still, they're giving and feeding both the government and others to point a finger, to give a different image about TPLF. The only people who try to protect the constitution with Oromo people, with the southern, but the only people who have that strength and that capacity to do so is being given a different image to distort the truth. Because those criminals, if it's found the truth, they are criminals after all. So the Donald Trump abusing people, human rights abuse is not communicated because he protected them. That's what happened when the Washington Post journalist Khashoggi has been killed. They are my friends. He was protecting them because they are into the deal. They are together on this. He's all the way in. Donald Trump is all the way in. Khashoggi has been killed after the Ethiopian colonialism operation has started. So everything is interrelated. The human rights abuse in Ethiopia is very visible, even by the international community, by the embassies. They are committing Abiy Ahmed and the Oromara and Isaias Afwerki, but it has been silenced. with the Amnesty International repetitive narrative to point the wrongs or to blame or accuse, like Mike Pompeo, who gave his on the whole magazine, where the Capitol Hall, to point the finger on the Tigrayans, because they are all into it. They are all the conspiracy group who are running behind the scene this colonialism. So they have to give a different image for the truth not to be revealed, accusing the Tigrayan people. What the Tigrayan people did is, the only fight one can engage, if it is on their shoes, to defend themselves and to protect the people and to protect the land against an outsider who wants to kill them, who wants to make them suffer, who wants to take away their land, and who wants to make them enslaved to their leadership. Those people fought to bring freedom for 17 years. It cost them to have the freedom for their people. So it's only those who knows the price tag who sacrificially really make to that sacrifice tag. So maybe that's why, not maybe actually, that's the right thing. That's the truth, why they are standing to the end, fighting this cause. And the people in Tigray are resilience people, neither who surrender nor retreat, because they know the meaning of the freedom, and it doesn't come for free. So all this media bias coverage to cover up and give them a bad guy kind of look and different images to hide all these truths, the crimes, because it involves a lot of people. They are organized worldwide. They have a big chains, including Donald Trump. So Tigrayan people is first unacceptable, and truth to be told for the world to know how the networks and chains of those who involved in the crimes being committed is large, and it really is has a correlation with American Donald Trump being in power. Therefore, for the United Nations to interfere to protect civilians' life, otherwise the United Nations actually is working for them. They don't take a step, they delay, because since the sanction they lifted in Eritrea illegally, we see to whom they are serving. That's why civilians' life, millions Ethiopian civilians' life, had to suffer for 3 years. And tens of thousands, maybe now it's 100,000 lives lost. Who knows? Unless go and investigate. They block all the information, from closing the internet, from banning the airspace, when they killed tens of thousands in a day, Ethiopian civilians in the Oromo, in the southern, in the Amhara region. A historical betrayal, a historical crime is happening in Ethiopia. Because the person who is a leader is not Ethiopian leader. He's a cover-up. A person who is there, the colonizing military leader, to accomplish that. If it was an enemy that is coming, you could see it, because it's visible. That's how they destroy it, to defeat our people, to let our people suffer. So the United Nations is not giving excuses. There is no humanitarian, there is nobody is interfering. Our people are dying. How the networks and chains is including, even by controlling those higher institutions. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley is part of the United Nations. who came to see the potential in Ethiopia. She knew what she was doing. We are betrayed by leaders in institutions like UN. That's why they don't give a humanitarian aid in the Tigray region where the war is, where people have to go be enforced or refugee to neighboring country. We are seeing when history is repeating. Back in 1984, when the rebel force CPLF was in a war against the communists, the Tigrayan people were facing the drought that changed the American generation through the music. We are the world, the US aid for Africa. The people were in the city, was in prison. The Tigrayan people, one by one, was in prison. The same happens now because of the injustice towards the Tigrayan people. So everything what's happening in Ethiopia is a correlation with American Donald Trump, President Donald Trump being in power. Therefore, for the global community to interfere to protect our civilians' life, the UN has failed us. But we call upon, again, the UN and other international respected bodies to interfere. Otherwise, those monsters shouldn't be left lawless and to destroy everything with their timetable until January 2020, until January 2021, if that happens. Since they are trying to change the power in the US, where they're trying to thinking to operate a cope by steering people, by rioting and protesting. They already have changed in Saudi Arabia, they already have changed in Ethiopia. They're trying to do that in America. But I'm afraid whether that's going to happen or not. So we seek, as an Ethiopian, seek the global community to condemn such acts and for the international court to look into the situation in Ethiopia. How? When you let free criminals like MBZ, MBS, from Yemen war to Saudi Arabia, human rights abuse, from Libya to Ethiopia, to commit crime on civilians, makes the planet unsafe and a sad place to be. Please take measures for the sake of humanity, because you could be the next victim. Starting the next day after Mike Pompeo visited Khartoum, since August 2016, for 2 weeks, a massacre in the Amhara region is committed. That Oromara, this local conspiracy group, Abiy Ahmed, and the Deputy Secretary of Ethiopia, team that includes Abiy Ahmed, the Ethiopian military and Eritrean military, committed the massacre to take over civilians' lands and villages. Those are the criminals who worked for MBZ MBS, is trying to take over the land in Tigray, in Araman, Oromo, in Southern, and all over Ethiopia. That's Abiy is hired for their mission to accomplish. As global citizens, let us be aware of that. For all chaos that is going globally, from COVID to war, we have our contribution. These people are aiming to tear us down, to stop from loving one another in unity and global solidarity by using their dirty money to spread lawlessness everywhere and to harm others, because that way they get empowered and win, since we give and surrender our power to them when we operate with division and enmity. Be wise, for this is exactly what they want to accomplish, but they cause destruction, disorder, and harm and kill, but they won't win. The power in you is the power more than the power they have if you use it. And don't fight with their terms and conditions. All this media bias in narrative is like a bait to hook you and trap you and to be victimized you. I believe it was not President Donald Trump's motive initially. That Kushner wants the Palestine land, but they hooked him. He's trapped. He's a victim. Now, because of that mistake, the American people is also paying the price. The long-standing American Constitution, which will be 250 years in 2026, is tested now. Behind all the Black Lives Matters, those people are the ones who give money to people to stir up riots because it worked back in Ethiopia. They want to bring it here. Democracy, unless you fight for it, within the blink of your eyes, it can be gone. Because the dirty money is controlling the world by selling people their conscience, their integrity, to that of deception, to that of selfishness to gain more money at the expense of civilian people's life. So wake up and do and play your own part to defuse this conspiracy before it's destroying the world.